ito na, already asked a person to take revenge and that if I get killed, patayin mo si BBM, Lisa Raneta, at si Martin Romualdez. No joke. Now, we have to distinguish, Madam Chair, between conditional threat and threat with a condition. This is defined by the Supreme Court.
Yan.
What is a conditional threat? And what is threat with a condition? Example of a second one. Threat with a condition. I will kill you if you give me 1 million pesos. That is a threat with a condition.
Yan, abogado yan. Abogado yan, oh, Joel Chua. Wala kang ano dyan, hindi ka tatagos dyan kay Rupos. Abogado din naman tong si Joel Chua. Kaso, kahit na anong husay mong abogado, pagka umanib ka doon sa mga siraulong politiko, talagang magmumukha ka siraulo. Naku, sago paano nitong si Joel Chua, nitong si Congressman Rufus Rodriguez ang ating matutunghayan dito sa video na to. Kaugnay pa rin ho dyan sa pagtalakay ng Justice Committee sa impeachment complaint laban dito kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero bago yan, sa like at sa subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community. Yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Wala ho tayo maraming papasadaan dito sa video na to. Kaya naman, rumekta na ho tayo dito kay Congressman Bong Suntay. Trending ka kong ha. Pambira. Wala namang ibang analogy. Hindi, yung iba medyo inano lang talaga, medyo kumbaga literal lang, pero analogy lang naman yun itong si Congressman Bong Suntay. Ito, panoorin natin ang kanyang pagbalagbag dyan sa hearing na yan ng Justice Committee. Game. Iba. Game. Yun.
Ang pangunahing alegasyon ng complaint ay nagsasaad, respondent publicly declared during a live broadcast press conference that she has arranged for a person to kill President Marcos Jr., the First Lady, and the former Speaker Martin Romualdez, if she is killed. Ito ang ginawang basihan ng Article 1 para sabihin may culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, at other high crimes. Pero kapag sinuri ito sa ilalim ng Rule 3, Section 5 ng Rules of Procedures ng impeachment proceeding, may malinaw na problema sa sufficiency in substance. Ang requirement ng rule ay may recital of facts constituting the offense charge.
Yan.
Hindi sapat ang statement na controversial or politically shocking. Sa complaint na ito, ang allegation ay speech lamang. Walang alegasyon na may actual hitman na kinuha. Walang maipakitang may agreement nga o conspiracy na ipatupad dito. Wala rin maipakitang may payment o arrangement na ginawa in order to facilitate such statements. Wala rin maipakitang weapon procurement o alleged overt act. Sa ilalim ng constitutional law, malinaw ang doctrine na kahit incendiary, inflaming, or shocking ang speech, ito ay protected under the freedom of speech. Naipailalim to sa Brandenburg versus Ayo na sinabi ng korte that the speech can only be punished if it is directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and likely to incite or produce such action. Ang parehong principle ay kinilala sa Philippine jurisprudence tulad ng Salonga versus Cruz Paño kung saan sinabi ng Supreme Court na kahit radical o disturbing a statement ay hindi punishable kung walang imminent and lawful action. Sa madaling salita, kahit pa matapang, galit, exaggerated ang political rhetoric, hindi automatic na ito ay krimen. Ang complaint ay umaasa sa interpretasyon ng statement, hindi sa factual acts constituting treason, sedition, or conspiracy. There is a Latin maxim, conclusion non probat factum. Ang conclusion ay hindi proof ng fact. Thank you.
The Honorable SDML Noy Defensor.
That's wrong, Madam Chair.
Naku, yan na.
We are discussing on the sufficiency and substance and the irrelevant, illogical statements made in defense has no point.
Naku, depenso. Ano ba, nakatanggap ka rin ba ng maleta, Brad? Nagtatanong lang naman. Masyadong sensitive. Nakatanggap ka rin ba ng envelope? Na di o manong naglalaman ng 2 million? O kung nakatanggap ka, malaki problema mo, Brad. Dahil hindi mai-impeach si VP Sara. At lahat ng nakatanggap, kung nakatanggap ka, di ko sinasabing tumanggap ka. Dalawang magkaibang bagay yun. Kung alam mo sa sarili mo, nakatanggap ka at mayroong mga probative, favorite rating lesson yun. Mga ebidensya na magtuturo sa'yo. Kung ako sa'yo, manalangin ka na ng mataimtim.
Because this is a direct threat to the life of the sovereign.
Sovereign.
And the allegation
Paulo.
that the Vice President has contracted an assassin who is prepared to kill the President, whether or not there is a condition, as alleged in both complaints. I have seen the evidence, and I have seen all the supporting documents, and this allegation is trial ready. Madam Chair, I move that we proceed to the next allegation.
Madam Chair.
Yabang ni Defensor. Alam talagang may dalawang itsura ang Defensor. Yung Defensor na mayroong utak at yung Defensor na mayroong prinsipyo at paninindigan, yun si Ma'am Miriam at itong si Congressman Mike. Ito naman, yung Defensor na kaibigan ng mga magnanakaw sa pamahalaan. Hindi mo ba kaibigan si Martin Romualdez at si Marcos Jr.? Sila ang tinuturong mga di umano magnanakaw sa pamahalaan. Hoy! Yung pinagtatanggol mo dyan, sila ang tinuturong mastermind dito sa issue ng mga maanomalyang flood control. Kaibigan mo ba sila, Defensor? Lang yan nakala ko pa naman, pagka Defensor apelido, matatalino. Meron din pala mga sinto-sinto. Joke lang, ikaw na, hindi ka na mabiro, baka magalit ka, Brad. Huwag ka magalit, sa mga makatitigan, problema mo, Brad. Joke lang, ikaw naman. Ano lang yun?
The Honorable, is that a motion, Honorable Defensor?
Yes, it's a motion to proceed to the next allegation.
I object, Madam Chair. Second.
There is a
Let us give a
motion.
chance. Let us give a chance to everyone to speak on each ground.
Kaya nga, wag niyong brasuhin. Hindi na pwede ngayon yun, yung braso-braso. Motion, Ay, seconded, wala na magtatanong. Hindi pwede yun. Yung ginagawa niyong pambabraso, parang nagmumukha kayong mga siraulo dyan. Yung tipong batas militar, kung anong gusto nung nakaupo, yun na lang. Pagka merong nag-motion, nag-seconded, wala na. Lahat ng gustong magtanong, wala na. Hindi na pwede yun Luis Tro, ha?
My good friend, and whom I respect so much, should be minded to withdraw that because precisely there are others who wish to speak.
Yan.
And we cannot stifle any
Itong asawa ni Ace Barbers, medyo nanggigigil siya. Ano pa naman ginagawa nitong na to? Ba't pa dumadaldal to?
member of the Justice Committee.
Katabi
And our
niya,
chairman
si
has
Chairman
always
Barbers.
allowed everybody to speak until everybody has
Si
spoken
Pinklitz.
in this committee.
Pinklitz
So
yan
we appeal to my good friend to withdraw that so that we can
Only
proceed.
because the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez has requested me to withdraw. I would
Yeah.
gracefully withdraw my motion, Madam Chairman.
Yan ang pala eh. Dapat ganyan, hindi yung motion. Duly seconded. Butuhan. Di gano'n? Kalokohan
As
niya.
a statesman, you see, Mr. Chairman, our deputy is a statesman. So
Just
thank
for the
you.
record, the motion to proceed to the next ground has been formally withdrawn.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All the manifestations of the justice members are duly noted. At this juncture, we recognize the Honorable Nazal and then Honorable Chua
Thank you.
How about me?
and then Honorable Rodriguez.
Third, that is fine.
Kala
Good
niyo,
morning, everyone. Thank you, Madam Chair. Consistent with the constitutional threshold articulated under Article 11 and the ultimate facts rule applied during the PBBM proceedings last February 4, 2026, I respectfully submit that Article 1 of the fourth complaint fails the test of sufficiency in substance. The allegations rely principally on public statements characterized as an admission of contracting an assassin. However, even assuming hypothetical admission of the pleaded facts, the complaint does not set forth the essential elements of an indictable offense. There is no identification of an alleged assassin, no pleaded meeting of minds, no overt act towards execution, no defined consideration, and no operational step taken beyond speech. Conspiracy requires implementation elements. Sedition requires overt acts. Culpable violation requires a specific, willful breach of a constitutional duty. None are pleaded with particularity. General invocations of a constitutional order and oath-taking cannot substitute for a clearly identified constitutional provision willfully violated. Under the standard consistently applied in the PBBM proceedings, rhetoric, however alarming, does not become an impeachable offense absent ultimate facts establishing execution. Accordingly, Article 1 rests on inference and conclusion rather than pleaded ultimate facts and is insufficient in substance. I so manifest. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next is the Honorable Chua.
Ito, Joel Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Trending din to
Madam
eh.
Chair, mukhang nalilito po yung mga kasama natin.
O yan.
Wala po tayo dito para dito.
Ang ganda ng kurbata mo, brad, bago mo ituloy yung sinasabi mo. Balita ko, 16,000 pesos daw yan eh. Pinost nitong si Pambansang Dalaga eh. Di ba? Isang maliit na tela, kurbata, anak ng toko, sweldo na ho natin sa buong buwan. 16,000. Dior. Anak ng Petrang Garapata, konting ano naman. Tapos gusto nyong i-impeach si BP Sara, yung mga kagamitan nyo dyan. Saan mo galing yung pinambili mo dyan? Joel Chua. Aber? Lumya ka. 16,000, kurbata lang. Grabe ka, Joel Chua. Nakaya ka, Brad. Di ba kayo pagka ba sinusuot mo yan, di mo naaalala yung mga constituent mo na walang makain? Hindi mo ba naaalala? Hindi mo ba naaalala habang sinusuot mo yung kurbata mo na yan, yung mga constituent mo na nalulubugan ng baha pagka merong bagyong dumadating sa Pilipinas? Hindi mo naaalala? Pues, pagka susuotin mo yung mo na yan, 16,000. Nakatawa, kurbata, 6,000. Pambihira, ibang klase ka, Brad. Ibang level talaga mga congressman, mga icon, kailangan yung mga suot puro signature, puro pang mayaman.
Determine yung criminal aspect.
Joel, huwag kong tanggalin dito yung yung kurbata mo para makita na sambay ng Pilipino kung gaano kayo kahilig sa mga mamahaling kagamitan. Yan, Hindi mo pwedeng ikailayan. Siya ngang tunay, ayan, Dior na Dior ang design, di ba?
Ng complaint. Nandito po
Si kasi, yan si Pambansang Dalaga. Alam niya yung mga yung mga luxury kasi mayaman din yan eh. Yan ang isa sa mga milyonaryong vlogger. Di ba? Yan si Pambansang Dalaga. Kaya pagkasuot ng isang congressman, alam na niya kagad. Siguro 10 yung ganyan ni Pambansang Dalaga. Big time yan. Ako. Super yaman.
tayo para tignan natin kung pag binasa po natin itong facts, ito po ba papasok as impeachable offense?
Yun.
Now, let me clarify this. Ito pong Article 1 makikita po natin sa paragraph 83 pababa. At dito po, sa paragraph 85, dito po, clearly and expressly, binanggit po dito yung kataga na binanggit po ng ating Vice Presidente. At ano po to? Already as a person to take revenge and that if I get killed, patayin mo si BBM.
Ayusin mo delivery. Para makapagbagdamdamin, Brad, ayusin mo yung delivery. Hindi pwedeng ganyan, Brad.
Si Lisa Araneta at si Martin Romualdez.
Ay, hindi.
No
Nabubulol ka pa eh. No.
joke, no joke. Now, paano po ito papasok bilang impeachable offense? Sabi po dito sa same impeachment complaint, sabi po dito, makikita natin to sa paragraph 91 to 93. Ano po to? Meron daw pong culpable violation ng Constitution. Now, ano po yung specific provision sa ating Constitution ang binayolate? So makikita naman po natin to sa Article 7, Section 5.
Yan.
Dahil dito po, sa Article 7, Section 5, nakasaad po dito ng ating saligang batas, and I quote, Madam Chair, before they enter on the execution of their office, the President, the Vice President, or the Acting President shall take the following oath or affirmation.
Yan.
Ang second paragraph, ito po yung kanilang oath. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully and conscientiously fulfill my duties as President or Vice President or Acting President of the Philippines, preserve and defend its Constitution, execute its law, do justice to every man, and consecrate myself to the service of the nation. Defend its Constitution and execute its laws. Definitely, yung pagbabanta po is not a form of executing its laws. And therefore, there is a clear violation and culpable violation of the Constitution.
Brad, alam mo, sa nakikita ko lang violation dito, yung kurbata mo lang talaga. hindi ko maisip na yung isang politiko na nasa tamang katinoan magsusuot ng 16,000 na kurbata. Sa totoo lang, yan ang violation. Yan ang betrayal of public trust. Nasisigmura mo magsuot ng 16,000 na kurbata, di ba? Oh. Tapos ang daming nagugutom sa distrito mo. Yan ang di ko masigmura. Yan ang culpable violation of the Constitution. Yung kurbata mo, tanggalin mo yung kurbata mo na yan, medyo clear ka na. Medyo pwede mo na kaming bidahan sa mga banat mo na yan.
Second, sinabi po dito at binanggit din po dito sa complaint, betrayal of public trust. At dito po defined under paragraph 94, the Supreme Court has defined betrayal of public trust as a catch-all ground encompassing acts that constitute gross faithlessness against public trust, tyrannical abuse of power, inexcusable negligence of duty, favoritism, and gross exercise of discretionary power to the prejudice of the public interest. Gross faithlessness. Pagtataksil sa tiwala ng publiko. Definitely, yung pagbabanta po sa ating Papangulo, sa First Lady, at sa ating Speaker, ay maliwanag na pagtataksil. Dahil
Walang pambabantang nangyari. Hindi niya naman sinabi na ipapapagurgur ko kayo. Wala namang ganun. Pag may nangyari sa akin. Yan kasi ang hirap sa inyo. Di ba? Ang hilig niyong tanggalin sa konteksto yung mga salita na lumalabas sa bibig ng mga kalaban niyo sa politika. Yan ang ikangayan ng trip niyo dyan sa House of Representatives.
itong tao po, yung Pangulo po natin, ay pinagkatiwalaan at hinalal para mamuno po sa ating bansa. We have to look at the surface. Dahil yung guilty or not, yung trial po yan sa Senado. Ang dito lamang po ay by mere narration of facts. Sa pagbabasa lamang po ba neto, meron po bang grounds na na-violate? I submit, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chua. Before we proceed, we acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Congressman Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel Jokno from Akbayan Party List.
Nako, siya pang...
We acknowledge as well our Deputy Speaker,
abogado,
Honorable
ano?
Raymond Democrito C. Mendoza. And finally, we welcome and acknowledge our Senior Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Ferdinand L. Hernandez, of course, from the 2nd District of South Cotabato. Thank you for coming to all the Kongs. Now we proceed. We acknowledge the Honorable Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yan na.
Article 1 is based on three grounds for impeachment. First is the culpable violation of the Constitution. Second, betrayal of public trust. And third, other high crimes. To support these three grounds for impeachment, as found in our Constitution, it has three acts that are alleged to support these three. and which are assassination plot, sedition, and subversion. Let us go first to subversion, not as a crime itself, but as a support to the three, either of the three. And so, subversion, Madam Chair, was precisely made illegal in 1937 under Republic Act 1700. However, subversion, like in this case, they state subversion of constitutional order, subversion, Republic Act 1700, was repealed precisely in 1992 during democratic times. In 1992, Republic Act 7636 removes subversion. It cannot be a crime nor a support now to the three grounds that we have. Completely repealed in 1992 the subversion aspect of an act of a Filipino. Then we have sedition, Madam Chair. Sedition is an act of publicly uprising and tumultuously engaging in acts to really remove the established government and officials. So it cannot be because Sara Duterte did not publicly rise with arms to be able to remove the present government. Probably what they want to say.
Mahirap kalaban to si Rufus Rodriguez sa totoo lang. Kapag nga binabalagbag natin yan, medyo hirap tayo dyan. Malaki kasi yan. Kaya yung mga kasama niya, tinik sa lalamunan. Ito si Joel Chua, Benny Abante, at lahat ng bidabidahan dyan sa hearing na yan. Yung mga, wala kayo dyan. Magkakampi kayo bukas, magkalabang kayo. Basta ako, sigurado lang dito, Duterte supporter ho tayo. Yeah, pero kung Rufus siya, baka kala mo nakakalimutan ko na yung mga statement mo sa nakalipas na panahon. Markado ka pa rin kay PH Update. Tingnan natin kung yung performance mo dyan sa impeachment na yan, kahit pa paano, makakalimutan ko yung mga kabalbalan mo. Markado pa
Say
rin.
is inciting to sedition.
Oh.
Because sedition itself is governed by our Article 139 of the Revised Penal Code, the rising publicly and tumultuously. If you go to Article 142, this will be inciting to sedition, but there is also no recital of facts that the Vice President made speeches or made publications to say, let us remove the present administration. Nothing. In fact, yesterday, if you see the video, she was just present. When her father spoke. Second, when Kibolo had a mass, had a gathering, but she did not speak there. So therefore, against the present government. So these two are out, definitely out. Subversion of constitutional order is no basis to say there is violation of the Constitution, nor sedition, or even inciting to sedition. So we now go to assassination plot. Here we go. This is what
Here we go.
is cited in the first paragraph on factual allegations is under the page 28, paragraph 85. Ito na. Already asked a person to take revenge and that if I get killed, patayin mo si BBM, Lisa Raneta, at si Martin Romualdez. No joke. Now, we have to distinguish, Madam Chair, between conditional threat and threat with a condition. This is defined by the Supreme Court.
Yan.
What is a conditional threat? And what is threat with a condition? Example of a second one. Threat with a condition. I will kill you if you give me 1 million pesos. That is a threat with a condition.
Yan, abogado yan. Abogado yan, Joel Chua. Wala kang dyan, hindi ka tatagos dyan kay Rufus. Abogado din naman to si Joel Chua. Kaso, kahit na anong husay mong abogado, pagka umanib ka doon sa mga siraulong politiko, talagang magmumukha ka siraulo.
There's still liability. However, conditional threat, like I'll kill you if I am killed, that is a threat from the grave, so-called. Even, Madam Chair, even the late presidential legal advisor, the late Juan Ponce Enrile, I saw him in an interview. He said there is no crime because it is conditional. The entire, statement about killing somebody only arises if you are dead. And both of them are very much alive. However, this is now the situation, Mr. Madam Chair. The one who said it is the Vice President. The persons where the conditional threat is being mentioned is the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker. And so this committee will have to therefore decide whether that reaches the sufficiency of form and substance. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Palakpakan nun natin itong si Congressman Rufus Rodriguez. Napakagaganda ng mga argumento niya kung bakit hindi pwedeng maging grounds ng impeachment. Yaang mga sinabi na yan, ito si BP Sara. Dala lang naman yun na silakbo ng damdamin. Pero tayo sigurado dito, hindi magagawa yan ni BP. Ang bait-bait ni BP eh. Hintayin niya maging presidente. Si Rufus magaling eh, magaling. Magaling si Rufus Rodriguez. Magaling siyang magaling pumuesto ba?
The Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make another manifestation regarding Article 1. Article 1 of the fourth impeachment complaint. I was part of the prosecution team in the last impeachment, and I handled this. And we saw the evidence of the NBI. In fact, for the information of everyone, this went to the NBI. The NBI filed a case.
Dapat vice chairperson ka, dapat ano ka? Dapat neutral ka. Kahit kunyari lang. Oy, Zamora. Kahit kunyari lang. Huwag kayo masyado
And
magpakita ng
they have
bias.
the evidence. Now,
Anong evidence? Ang hirap niyan, evidence ka ng evidence, di ka man abogada.
that threats were conditional is inconsequential. We heard what the Honorable Janice Degamo said yesterday. And I believe that, well, we were all touched and maybe disturbed.
Yung kay Digamo, hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari dun sa asawa niya. Pero malamang sa malamang hindi si Tebes siya nagpatrabaho doon. Hindi ako naniniwala si Tebes yun. Ito real talking ko na ho kayo. Hindi ako naniniwala. Alam mo na ikaw ang pagbibintangan pag kami nangyari dyan, tatrabahuhin ko pa. Pero merong yung pattern na talagang noong DOJ Secretary itong si Boeing Remulla, yung mga individual na nasa pasugalan ng business nila ay talagang trinabaho. Kita niyo ho mga kababayan. Una na dyan, Tebes. Tapos ngayon Atong. Puro mga sa sugalan business niyan. Hindi niyo ba naobserbahan yan? Sino nagpatrabaho dyan? Diba? Sinasabi ko sa inyo mga kababayan. Yan Digamo na yan. Anak ng tokwa. Dapat mag-isip yan. Baka yung mga nagpatrabaho sa kanya ay nasa paligid din niya. Yung mga yumayakap-yakap sa kanya nung umiiyak siya, baka sila din nung nagpatrabaho sa asawa niya. Diba?
By what she said yesterday. She said that their family received threats, conditional at the start, but in the end, the threats became real and her husband was murdered.
Hindi nga threats yung kay VP Sara. Conditional nga yun. Iba yung threat. Kasi nahalo nyo yung kay Digamo ganito. Pag lumabas ka ng bahay, gugurgurin kita. Yun ang threats. Yung kay VP Sara, pag may nangyari sa akin, sila ang tatrabahuin. Ganon. Dalawang magkaibang bagay yun. Apples and orange yun. Hindi pwedeng kumpara ng parehas na apple to apple. Hindi. Si VP Sara, hindi niya sinabing gurgurin mo yan. O ganituin mo yan. Nag-hire na ako para magurgur kayo. Hindi gano'n ang ang sabi ni VP Sara pag may nangyari sa akin. Madama, magaling ka, naging congressman ka. Pero doon lang ho tayo siya, paktual lang, paktual. Hindi na, huwag nating imekos-mekos ang mga salita, okay? Magmumukha kang lukarit niyan, parang si Auntie Claire.
The video that we are talking about was viewed by everyone, including international media, international persons. This happened on the 23rd of November, 2024.
Madama, remind kita, vice chairperson ka dyan. Ayusin mo sumalansan. Hanggat maaari, kayo ay nakikinig sa mga nagsasalita. Hindi kayo ang dumidepensa sa mga argumento.
Early morning. And
Luka-luka.
we all saw how the Vice President hurled expletives and publicly admitted that she had set into motion a clear plot to assassinate the president,
Anong clear plot, clear plot? Lukarit ka ba, ha?
the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. These acts, Madam Chair, are stated, as I said earlier, in paragraphs 85 to 111 of the impeachment complaint. It is clear that the overt acts that we are looking for are in the impeachment complaint. The video that we are all talking about was mentioned in the annexes, or was it? Yes, it was mentioned in the annexes of the complaint. And for everyone's information, this is what we call res ipsa loquitur, or the thing speaks for itself.
What? Rest ipsa loquitur, eh? Talaga naman.
Everyone heard what the Vice President said. And
Oo.
again, these are
Narinig namin.
mentioned in the impeachment complaint. So we do not go into the elements of the different crimes of the revised penal code, but the mere act, Madam Chair, that she said these words and that she contracted an assassin is impeachable in itself.
Hindi, tuloy mo yun. Tuloy mo yun, Noy Zamora. Wala na si Pami eh. Kaya yung katangahan ng kapatid niya, siya na nagbana. Tuloy mo yung sinabi niya, nag-hire siya na kung sakaling may mangyari sa kanya. Bakit pa ayaw yung ituloy yung mga sinasabi ni BP? Masyado kayong allergic. Anak ng tokwa kung anong taba at body shaming, totoo namang mataba. Okay lang sana kung sasabihin mo yung si Pami Zamora, payatot, sinungaling ka naman. Ilang kayang envelope na nakuha ni Pami Zamora, no? Ngayon, kapatid niya naman, Isabel Zamora naman. Kung anong katangahan ng kapatid niyang Tabachoy, ninana nitong bagong Zamora, anak ng tokwa. Kung meron Pami dati, yung nag-contempt, yung nagyakapan silang dalawa ni Paduano, o meron naman ho tayong Pami, Isabel Zamora ngayon. Lang yan. Mga Zamora perwisyo din sa bayan. Kamagalala, madam. Pagka natapos na si BP Sara, anak ng tokwa, kayong mga Zamora, kayong mga walang niya kayo.
Well, Madam Chair, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Ano ka
Any
lang
other
alam.
member who wishes to manifest?
Madam Chair, can I be allowed to speak?
This will be your winding up as well, the Honorable Abante.
Yes.
After this, we will be proceeding to the second round. The
Upon
Honorable
he-
Abante is recognized.
Upon hearing the statement of Congressman Rufus, medyo umiikot po yung aking isipan tungkol dito sapagkat nakalagay naman sa impeachment.
Ano na naman. Doon sa ang video kanina, nagsalita ka na. Ngayon, dadaldal ka na naman. Tapos pagka mababanatan ka, mag-iiyak ka na naman. Pambihira talaga tong pastor, manahimik ka na, please.
Complaint natin, yung bang grossly inconsistent with the dignity of her office. No?
Ilabas mo yung Richard Mille mo. Huwag mong takpan ng long sleeve mo, Brad. Nakita na namin yan. Ipakita mo. You should be proud kung talagang pinaghirapan mo yan. Galing sa pera mo. Kaso ang problema dito, Pastor Maleta.
Question is, proper dignity ba yung statement ni Vice President Sara when it comes to assassination threat? Hindi lamang assassination threat, Madam Chair, assassination plot sapagkat meron na po siyang hinire na assassin. Sinabi niya sinabi niya, hindi joke yan. Pangalawa, yung po sinasabi nating gross exercise of discretionary powers. Yung pa'y kasama pa sa tinatawag na discretionary powers ng Vice President to threaten the President. Hindi na pinag-uusapan dito yung sedition. Saka yung subversion. Ang pinag-uusapan po dito, yung dignity ng office ng Vice President, yung discretion powers ng Vice President, yung po ba ang tinatawag natin, dapat ba na ito ay gawin nating baliwala, Madam Chair? So while the VP may claim her remarks were not serious, a high-ranking official threatening the life of the head of the state is a high crime and
High
a
crime.
threat
Urur.
to national stability.
Urur.
Yaman.
Ay, kaya. Ay. Si Pastor dadaan kanya doon sa Malumanay di ba? Dadaan kanya sa Malumanay pero behind the scene nagsusumigaw na yan. Yung puso niya ay basag na dahil yung impeachment ni BP Sara hindi makaarangkada.
Thank you. Now we proceed to Article 2 of the fourth impeachment complaint. Please allow the chair to read. Betrayal of public trust and graft and corruption. Among the offenses cited are misuse and malversation of confidential funds, violation of Joint Memorandum Circular number 2015-01, COA findings, and falsification of documents. Now we elicit the comment and manifestation of the justice members.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Rodriguez.
Bongsunta is not here, so I just go ahead because he would have been first always. Madam Chair, on Article 2, it is betrayal of public trust and graft and corruption. I would just like to take exception in accordance with what I stated yesterday. Page 34 includes the DepEd. And as I have stated, and I remind again members of the Committee on Justice, that we have no jurisdiction over actuations of the former Secretary of the Department of Education. So, page 934, we say that the statement of corruption by grossly abusing discretionary authority over confidential funds appropriated to the OVP, that's fine. But the statement that DepEd is totally out of the jurisdiction of this committee, the actuations of the former secretary. Then on page, Madam Chair, on page 36, once again, 1223.3 paragraph, 125 million in DepEd confidential funds in the late 2022-2023. Again, DepEd, we cannot have jurisdiction over DepEd. The case of Duterte versus House of Representatives clearly
Yeah.
state that the impeachable offenses must relate to the acts of the position and the office where the person is sought to be impeached. And we're not going to impeach a secretary of a department here, but there is an allegation against her as the vice president. So that is page 36. And then on page 38, we have here 129 paragraph. It says a random sampling of receipts and acknowledgement receipts submitted by the OBP and DepEd revealed numerous defects. So once again, the statement of DepEd, the statement about DepEd is that it is beyond our jurisdiction. And then also 132, several receipts, OVP and DepEd should not be included. Now, on page 39, there is this allegation of physical distribution and third-party deliveries, use of DepEd vehicles and personnel. Again, this is about DepEd. It could not be part of our the investigation on the allegations of the impeachment. And so, Madam Chair, those are my observation on Article 2. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair,
Meanwhile, the chair wishes to remind the justice members, while we value the significance of all your arguments, we resolve already to adopt the discussion we had yesterday in the determination of sufficiency in substance of the third impeachment complaint for the purpose of our deliberation on the sufficiency in substance of the fourth impeachment complaint. We therefore encourage the members to raise new matters. Members who wish to manifest? The Honorable Chua and then
Madam Chair.
Honorable Tino.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Joboy Aquino, and Honorable Chel Jokno.
Madam Chair.
And Honorable Abante.
Madam Lulundagan na ho sila.
And Honorable Nazal. Honorable Chua first.
Lulundagan na
Thank you,
sila.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, as already manifested yesterday, I stand with my position that the Vice President, we should not distinguish between her position as Secretary of DepEd and Vice President by, again, citing the constitutional provision that under the Constitution, the Vice President may be appointed as member of the Cabinet and such appointment requires no confirmation. So meaning to say that the appointment of the Vice President as Secretary of DepEd is concurrent position. Hindi po siya ma-appoint doon if she were not the Vice President. And secondly, siya nga lang po ang nag-iisang siya nga lang po ang nag-iisang Cabinet Secretary na hindi na kailangan ng confirmation. Precisely dahil siya po ay Vice President. And thirdly, in addition to those statements and for the information of the body, the Vice President as Secretary of the DepEd is not receiving any allowance or emolument as Secretary of DepEd. Therefore, and it is very obvious na kaya po siya nandoon, again, because of her position as Vice President. Having said that, Madam Chair, I would like also to point out that from the perusal of the second argument, sabi po dito, ito pong second ground anchored on the allegation that the Vice President has committed betrayal of public trust and graft and corruption. Now, paano po pumasok ito? Kung babasahin po natin doon sa paragraph 123, sabi po dito, on 20 December 2022, Land Bank check number 2244027 in the amount of 125 million was issued to the OBP and encash at the Land Bank Shaw Boulevard by SDO Gina Acosta. So dito po sa paragraph na to, makikita natin, wala pa pong participation ng ating Vice President. Now, ito pong paragraph 123, this should be read in relation to paragraph 134. Dito po sa Madriaga affidavit,
Nako!
chain of custody.
Matindi yan.
Dahil
Madriaga chain of custody. Naku po, yan ang sinasabi natin. Nabanggit na yung smoking gun nitong si Benny Abante, yung si Madriaga.
ito pong winidraw dito sa paragraph 123 na 125 million na in-encash na sinasabi na nilagay po sa mga multiple bags na nakalagay sa paragraph 125 na binigay po kay Dante La Chica ay binigay po kay Madriaga. At dito naman po si Madriaga, sinasabi po niya na ito daw duffel bag, 4 na duffel bag na kinuha niya ng cash sa Ultra Pasig City noong December 20, 2022. Take note of the date, Madam Chair. Ibig sabihin, ito rin yung araw kung kailan in-encash.
Natural, imamatch nila doon sa araw. Kasi nga yung mga ang tawag dito, yung affidavit na yan ni Madriaga, dapat maging smoking gun sa impeachment ni BP Sara. Ito naman. Take note. Baka hindi ka ba nakipag-group effort para dyan sa affidavit na yan itong si Madriaga? Yan. Ganda ng dila mo talagang, ito talaga mga congressman na to, mahiling maglabas ng dila. Kanina si Luis Tro, ngayon kau naman.
Yung 125 million. Siya daw ay nag-deliver netong 4 na duffel bag sa various recipient including a mayor in Laguna, an office in
Polluted witness yan si Madriaga. Bakit? kahit sabihin mo na si Satanas, 'di ba? Kahit sabihin mo na si BP Sara pinadalhan niya ng pera yan si Satan, sasabihin niya si Madriaga. Kahit ipasabi mo, ipabanggit mo ang pangalan nitong sino ba pwedeng ano yun dyan na ika nga napaka-imposible pero gagawin ng Madriaga na yan para ika nga magkaroon lang siyang bentahe dyan sa kanyang kinahaharap na kaso. Halimbawa, pinapasabi nitong mga handler nitong Madriaga, idamay mo itong ganito, sabihin mo si BP Sara pinadala niya ng pera si Satanas. Sasabihin ng Madriaga na yan, polluted nga yung witness. Anak ng toko, lalakas ng loob niyo magbumanat ng Madriaga, nakakulong yan. Yung mga magigiting nating Marines, hindi nyo man lamang makot-quote yung mga sinasabi nila. Yan ang problema dito sa mga congressman na to.
In Timog,
Nangyari
and a
yun.
vehicle left at the Ombudsman parking compound for retrieval. At this point, wala pa rin pong participation ang ating Vice President. Now, paano po napunta dito? Paano po ito naging impeachable offense? Makikita po natin yan sa paragraph 150.
Yeah.
Kasi dito po sa paragraph 150, nakalagay po dito, the OBP SDO's testimony that they were instructed to turn over cash to intermediaries, which is Nolasco to Madriaga, at the direction of respondent Sara Duterte supports direct liability. So dito po pumapasok yung participation ng respondent. Kaya po, dito po pumapasok yung grounds which is grave, which is betrayal of public
Betrayal.
trust
Nalilito
and
ka pa, Brad, ha?
graft and corruption.
Tinutulungan na
So
kita, ha?
with that, pagbabasahin lamang po natin yung facts, makikita po natin na may sufficient in substance. That's all, Madam Chair.
We just want to share to the justice members that the Madriaga affidavit referred to by the Honorable Chua is part of the attachments, I think, of both the third and the fourth impeachment complaint. That's for the guidance of the justice members. Before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Zia Alonto Adjong from the 1st District of Lanao del Sur. We also acknowledge the presence of Deputy Majority Leader Crispin Diego D. Remulla. And we acknowledge as well the presence of Deputy Speaker David J.J.C. Suarez.
Hey, si Suarez.
To proceed,
Papakita din.
we would like to acknowledge, to recognize the Honorable Joboy Aquino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Earlier, Madam Chair, we've heard that
Si Joboy, yung kanina yan.
from our good friend, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, that we cannot, no, as Education Secretary, we cannot impeach her or, no, because they covered. But all I want to say, Madam Chair, is
Sila na rin yan. Yung mga yan, sila na rin na magiging opposition pagka naging presidente si BP Sara. Ngayon pa lang nakikita na ho natin kung ano magiging composition ng House of Representatives dyan sa impeachment na yan, itong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Yung mga individual na talagang gumugusto na ma-impeach si BP Sara, sila din ho ang mga mukhang makikita natin na magiging sa minority pagka naging presidente na si BP Sara. Ganyan, ano naman ho yan, kumbaga ika nga matik na ho yan, ika nga, matik na yung yan sila Joboy, yan sila Benny. Kung buhay pa si Benny Abante no, na kasi hindi natin maalam, hindi maganda lagay niya, nangangayayat siya. Sana, nasa mabuting kalusugan itong si Benny Boy, no? Ipanalangin din ho natin ang kalusugan ni Benny Boy. Baka masyado niya sinusubsob ang pagmumukha niya sa mga malita. De joke lang, sa trabaho, sa impeachment ni BP Sara. Sir, wag mo masyadong abusuhin ng katawan mo, no? Umiidad ka na rin, baka, di ba? Mahirap na. Ano mo lang, kalmahan mo lang ang trabaho.
is the same person also that is being accused of a crime to commit murder.
Wow.
No? What I'm trying to say,
Anong commit murder? Anong crime? Anong hindi naman siya magaling tayo dito sa PH update at hindi ho, no. Pinakikinggan lang, wala akong nakikitang crime. Crime kayo ng crime. Bakit hindi pa sampahan ng kaso itong si VP Sara? Di ba? Kasi kung may crime talaga yan, DOJ, NBI, Ombudsman, trinabaho na yan. At kung meron mang crime, yung approval at trust rating ni VP Sara, sigurado, hindi yan lumilipad ngayong mga panahon na to. Alam mo anong crime dito, Brad? Ang crime dito, yung pagtanggap ng mga congressman nung envelope na meron laman-laman na 2 million. At yung iba naman, at di umano, itong pangalan to, yung babae, yung si Teacher Estela, mali-maleta naman ang dinideliver sa kanya. Yun ang crime. Kuha mo, Brad, kuha mo.
Isang tao lang to. Pero ginagawa niya sa OVP, ginagawa niya rin sa DepEd. That's all. Simple lang yan, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Next is the Honorable Tino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, initially, I raised my hand in order to ask for clarification regarding the relevance of the initial motion that was carried, that the discussions on the third hearing that are relevant to the fourth complaint.
Ayoko na to, si Tinyo na to. Ano na rito, hindi ho, ika nga, wala, ay, sino nasa likod? Sino si Mirem? Anak ni Benny Abante to! Yung mukhang mangkukulam na dating tagapagsalita ng House of Representatives. Sumilip yung anak ni Benny Abante, si Princess. Yung princess na mukhang mangkukulam, ayan o, Benny Abante 2.0, nakasilip. So, maraming salamat sa pag-support sa picture. Mag-ingat ko kayo lahat. Malinat ng Pilipinas, mga langya kayo ha.